Taiga. A roar that resounds all the way to the corners of Miyama. As though having heard the roar of a fighter jet, it is a miracle that I did not faint from my eardrums being torn. It's that loud.
冗談にも程があります。今でもあのお家に誰が住んでると思ってるの。さくらちゃんにセーバーちゃんに東坂さんにライダーさんよ。なのに三辻さんまでやってきたら、もうどこぞのラブコメ温泉下宿にも負けないわよ。いいな。勝っちゃダメだと思うの。先生、いろんな意味で。
Isn't that the premise for one of the classic harem animes? What was it, like Love Hina, I believe? Something like that? I never watched it, but no, I think it's something like that. Rather than the voice, it was a mass of air expelled to the limit of her lung capacity. The lens of my glasses rattled.
シローがお家に帰ると、セーバーちゃんが三つ指ついて、お帰りなさいって言って、さくらちゃんがエプロンで、先輩、ご飯できてますよって言って。
Yeah, that's pretty good voice impression.
東坂さんがシローちょっと付き合いなさいって誘ってライダーさんがお風呂一緒にしませんかとか言う。
Yeah, we had that bath scene. Which, by the way, as I've learned, it was like the bath scene I went through. There was supposed to be much more steam than that. As it turns out, we saw much more of a naked body than I thought. Even though I had like the sensor option toggled, or maybe there's a glitch in the patch, maybe. But like when I looked it up on YouTube just to make sure, it was like there is actually much more steam. They're supposed to be like covering her like most of her body, but like mine was just like I guess the uncensored version. Even though I turned on the sensor, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking like I should probably like censor at least her butt. I don't know, on YouTube or something.
こんなフラグ立ちまくりの恋愛下宿ハーレムだけでも肩払いたいのに、それなのに氷室さんったら。はあ。
It's out of control. His harem is just too strong.
エクトプラズマ吐かないでください、先生。今のはあくまで質問です。確認を取りたいのは私たちであって。
I calm Fujimoto sensei as she writhes around in a fit of hyperventilation. As I thought, should we have passed on probing this person? To remember, I take a few steps back in the chronological order. The name that left Yukika's lips was Fujimoto sensei. This was a blind spot indeed. Along with being the supervisor of the archery club, I hear she's like an older sister to Emiya Shirou. Moreover, it's said that she even has a relationship with Miss Tohsaka. However, although she is easy to approach, we cannot inquire such matters at school. And so we decide to wait for her to leave school in order to stop her off campus and ask for her story. At that time...
ああ、氷室さんに牧寺さん、それに三枝さん、こんにちは。こんなところで会うのは珍しいわよね。みんなあっちの方でしょ？帰り道一緒なの？え？私に相談があるの？まあ、みんなの頼れる藤村先生だから聞いてあげましょう。なになに？勉強とか友人関係とか？いじめは良くないよ。憎しみに憎しみで答えることほどみっともないことはないんだから。
Hatred of hatred. Don't go to the dark side. Hatred leads to anger, and anger leads to the dark side, or something like that. And so it started out well enough, but...
え？シロのこと？あ、まあ、そこまで言うのなら、まあ、シロのことはよく知ってるからね。三辻さん？東坂さんも？
And so the mood changed into something like this. Did the conversation take a wrong turn at some point?
そういうあなたたちだって油断してると、そのうち白にパッカーッとやられちゃうわよ。
His like harem protagonist EX is just too strong. every just female main character just is attracted to them. Maybe some male characters as well. I don't know.
エミヤにか。そいつは。
それはご遠慮願います。
ってサクッと納得するな。そんなシロはエロエロじゃないんだから。お姉ちゃんが手塩にかけてキリツグさんから大事に預かって育てたのに、そんなエロエロさんちの息子にしちゃったらどうやって草葉の陰にわべたらいいのよ。
Fujimoto Sensei is in a considerable state of confusion. I give up. Where do I go from here? Though maybe I should calm her down first?
大丈夫かな、藤村先生。
かなり大丈夫ではない気がするな。
こっそら正気だ。正気じゃないのはあっちなの。ご飯とかすっごく美味しいんだけど。
She points ahead and the gate of the Emiya residence comes into view. He resides in such a samurai-like residence? An interesting discovery. I see. If the grounds are to this extent, it would be unusual for there to be other cohabitants. It would not be unusual, rather. No, that Miss Tohsaka and Miss Bato residing here is definitely strange. Putting that aside, this tale will not proceed would not calm Fujimoto-sensei, who is at the peak of her excitement. I soothe her by patting her shoulders with both hands, while thinking, this is the behavior of someone who is our elder and superior.
誠に申し訳ないのですが、藤村先生。私が尋ねていたのは、エミヤの大変な環境ではなく、彼と三釣城が交際をしているかどうかということなのですが。
もう付き合ってるって話じゃなくて？
Was it this misunderstanding that caused her to make such an uproar until now? Staring blankly, my pace falters for just a moment.
だから、エミヤは三釣と付き合ってるんだろ？
そこで君の希望的観測をむやみに口にして混乱させるな、牧野寺。
どうなんですか、藤村先生。
Yukika asked while I scolded Makidera. Fujimoto-sensei, who had been enraged until now, calmed down instantly and is now in deep thought as though puzzled.
そうね。確かに言われてみれば、シロと三釣さんは友人ではあるけども、男女交際関係はって言われればそりゃ難しいわよね。
いや、証拠はあるんだけど。
どれどれ、どんな証拠？先生にキャッチ&リーク？
Appearing keenly interested, Fujimoto-sensei draws up next to Makidera. I have a feeling these two might get along well, but it would be troublesome if they advance this discussion at their own convenience. I mean, yeah, these two are just, peas in a pod. I cut in and towards the expected sensei.
証拠というほどのものでもありません。遠坂城とエミヤが仲違いをしたとおぼしき後に、エミヤが三釣城と親しげに話し合っていたのを目撃しただけです。
それで十分じゃないか。状況証拠は揃ってるんだ。
I don't think that would be admissible in the court of law, but I suppress my bubbling dissatisfaction. Having heard the only piece of evidence, Fujimoto-sensei goes deep into thought.
でもあの二人は弓道部だし、三釣さんはまだシロと勝負つけたがってるみたい。それにお互い苦手じゃないからね。
ですので、私たちも確証がなかったのです。もしや藤村先生なら何かご存知かもしれないと思いまして。
I glanced, subtly examining Fujimura-sensei's expression. She smiled as though a bit troubled from being relied upon, but her expression gradually becomes more unclear. It's as though she's looking not at us, but beyond to somewhere distant. With the graceful behavior since a moment ago and this current feeling of isolation, it's difficult to think of this as the same Fujimura-sensei.
三釣さんとシロが付き合ってるっていうのはないんじゃないかな。
そりゃまたどうして？
Because she doesn't have a route?
いや、お姉ちゃんの勘かな。教師の勘でもあるんだけど。
She starts laughing as though trying to gloss it over. I experienced neither distress nor relief when she said that we were wrong. I merely think, oh, that's so, as though indifferently, watching something get washed away before my very eyes.
今はあんな風に遠坂さんもさくらちゃんもシローに懐いてるけど、あそこまでになるのがもう大変だったんだから。もともとシローは女の子相手は得意じゃないから、今でもしっちゃかめっちゃかなんだけどね。
Again, I was saying this whole time it's the unlimited blade works route, but maybe not. Maybe it's just a combination of all the routes, you know, all mixed together, and like Shirou is still in this, like, I don't know what the word is. Shirou is, you know, he's still a harem protagonist, I guess. You know, he hasn't picked anyone. He's not in a particular route. I can feel nostalgia of something important the way she speaks. If we're like this, none of us can find a chance to interrupt.
それなのに三辻さんにまでちょっかい出せるほど器用にはシローを育てられなかったからな。ってあなたたちにそんなこと聞かせても困っちゃうか。
No, it is a very interesting story, I reply under my breath. She had on a warm and lonely smile, but as though she had remembered something, she draws up to us again.
でね、もう遠坂さんとシローが付き合い始めるのもうすっごく大変だったんだよ。お姉さんは冬からもう砂かぶりでかぶりつき感染だったんだから。
その大変っていうのは？
遠坂さんたらああ見えて積極的にシローにアプローチしてきてね、いきなりしばらく下宿させていただきますなんて言われて、もう仰天したもの。
Well, again, is it unlimited works? I don't know, because okay, well, I don't know. And the word I was thinking of was nebulous. Is that the right word? I don't know. Nebulous, like, you know, Shiro's like romantic pursuits is in a nebulous state. Nebulous state. Is that the right word to use? I don't know.
からじゃない。エミヤのやつ、なんか弱みでも握ったんじゃないのか。
Yes, it's blackmail, you see. I can hear Makadero grind her teeth as she says that. The beginning of Emiya and Miss Tohsaka's romance is a very interesting topic. In the first place, what kind of circumstances could have spurred those two, who had no apparent contact before, into a companionship? Well, they're both like, you know, magi. But Yukika's cheeks were blushing after listening to such a vivid story. As for myself, I'm troubled over which topic takes priority between Miss Mizuzuri and Miss Tohsaka.
で、どうしたんすか、エミヤは。ああ見えて男だし、ストレートに呼ばしたとか。
Now, there was that one time when Shirou went to like Rin's room and he just stared at her in pajamas. Now, that happened.
呼ばいはしてなかったけど、夜中にデートしてたみたい。
In the middle of the night. I mean, those are like patrols, I guess.
その頃にはセーバーちゃんがやってきたりもしたけどね。あ、でも私シローの家で倒れて病院に運ばれたりしたけど、帰ってきたらもう
ってなんだよ、藤村先生。
Fujimura sensei laughs like an ill-mannered cat. Cats can laugh like that? I didn't know that. I'm struggling with whether I should return to our original discussion.
ほらね、シローはあれくらいアタックされないと感じないニブチンさんだから。さくらちゃんも積極的だし、セーバーちゃんもああ見えてなかなか激しい攻撃を。
私がシローに何かをしましたか、タイガ。
Ah, Saber. Dare? Who? Activating analysis. No. A clear and beautiful voice similar to the reverberating sound from striking silver or steel. A heavenly voice, but curiously not one suited for singing. Is that so? However, it is one that resonates in my very bones.
あれ？
おかえりなさい、タイガ。それに初めましてでよろしいのですか？
When I turned around, a blonde girl was standing there, and I fell in love. No, she was lovely enough so that I completely forgot to blink for a moment. Why is it? And it seems like everyone just falls in love with Saber. I remember, like, you know, Shirou was like, I will never forget this moment, you know, when he summoned Saber. And also, like, Rin also had, like, a similar reaction when she saw Saber. And now Himuro. Everyone just falls in love with her. I don't know. I just cannot comprehend why would such a beauty be here. I'm not certain how to respond to this brilliant countenance. Countenance?
こんにちは。はじめまして。私、三枝由紀香と申します。
ありゃ
What's Himuro
セ
doing?
イバーちゃん、どうしてここに
Did she actually fell in love with Saber?
出かける際にタイガが大声で騒いでいたではないですか。家の中まで聞こえました。日頃からタイガが検討されているのは承知しておりますが、近所迷惑となるのは控えていただけるとありがたい。
A tone that is filled with pride and yet polite. From Fujimoto Sensei's words, this girl is Saber. Could this be the name of the mysterious young lady I've heard of from Tohsaka and Ryudo? I see. If she is a foreigner, that name is not so strange. I suppose. Saber, there might be some kind of origin behind this name. However, even I, someone who takes pride in having the baseless confidence to feel not inferior to any person, am nervous in front of her.
気にしない。みんなご近所さんだし。
そうですね。昔からタイガはそうだったのかもしれません。申し訳ないのですが、こちらの方々はシローのお客様なのでしょうか。
Her attention is directed our way. Although she's not openly conscious towards us, even I being overpowered when inquired of by this figure. Moreover, it was not just by her beauty, but by her presence. Makidera is avoiding Miss Saber. Is she instinctively wary of her? Only Yukika seems unfazed as she spoke to Miss Saber gently.
私たちホムラハラの3年で。
なるほど。シローの同級生ですね。私はそうですね。セイバーとお呼びください。後ろのお二方は
氷室かねさんと牧寺楓さん。あ、牧寺さんは名前聞いたことあるよね。
We bow our heads after being introduced by Fujimoto Sensei. With a Miss Saber thought over her name and seemed to recall it.
リンからお名前は伺ったことはあります。確か楓。
いやほら、私も遠坂の友達だから。
Overwhelmed, Makidera's answer is stiff. Usually, she would be delighted that Miss Tohsaka had mentioned her.
はじめまして、カネ。なかなかの人物とお見受けいたします。ユキカも先ほどはご紹介いただき痛み入ります。
いえ、とんでもないです。
はじめまして。
Again, everything's all jumbled together in my head. Miss Saber, I only knew of her name, but I never thought she would be this beautiful. It's understandable that even Ryudo praises her, but how does her existence affect the problem I currently face? There should be something, somewhere, that connects her. Somehow, the awkward atmosphere at the end of the introduction settled in. The ringing from a clap of hands shatters the slight tension.
そうね。中にさくらちゃんもライダーさんもいるんでしょ。上がってもらってお茶しましょうか。
ああ、申し訳ないのですが、タイガ。私は今から外出するところです。
そうなの？あれまあ残念。せっかく女の子だけでシローの恥ずかしい思い出話にふけろうと思ってたのにね。
With her arms folded, Fujimoto Sensei nods in a way filled with disappointment. Miss Saber seems to be reluctant now as well, but shrugs off the temptation with a smile.
綾子に呼ばれまして、シローも一緒らしいのですが。
小山、三辻さんからとは、これはまた結構なお呼び出しで。これから？晩ご飯までに間に合わなかったら連絡入れてね。
はい。それでは失礼します。
Does Saber have a cell phone, actually? How would she call? Just now, Mizuzuri Ayako's name came from her lips. I am entranced as she bows her head and takes her leave. No, it cannot be. Such a thing is impossible, but if it was possible, then indeed. Her appearance is gorgeous even from behind, and the autumn winds seem to sweep away and cleanse the very ground she walked.
言っちゃった。
ほっとろいたね。あんなモデルみたいな子本当にいるんだ。
セイバーちゃんは確かにお人形さんみたいに綺麗だけど、あれでものすごく腕が立つんだよね。キリツグさんの親戚だって聞いてるけど、どんなお師匠さんについたんだか。
Fujimoto sensei tells us cheerfully about Miss Saber. She is skilled, since it is Fuyuki's tiger praising her. Needless to say, it must be related to swords or bows.
うっそ、あんなに小さくて細い子なのに。
人は見かけによらないんだから。あの肩幅の細さがくせ者でね、こっちの方の達人は総じてあんな風なのよ。まだセイバーちゃんから一本も取れないし、私も年かねって嫌だわ、ジジムさい。
はあ、すごいんですね、セイバーさんって。
If she has that much skill, it's not unreasonable to fall for her. Disregarding the false impression Shinji gives, I hear that Ryudo and Emi are both quite skilled. Ryudo as well? I guess in like kendo or whatever? That being the case, if her skills are outstanding and her looks are just as good...
どったの？ヒムロ？さてはあのセイバーさんに惚れたのか？
That's what I was thinking. Like everyone's just going gay for Saber.
惚れたのは私ではない。三釣城だ。
Right, such a combination is also possible, okay? I mean, I didn't think about that. If anything, well, it's probably because of the previous scenes. Everything is more like Mitsuzuri and Ryder, but of course, these three don't know who Ryder is. Actually, a more desirable and clean composition than the chaos of love triangles of love triangle. I can't read. A clean composition in the chaos of a love triangle is born. Blah 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 blah. Not that there is no problem, rather there is quite a critical issue.
え？カネちゃん？
いや、私は今まで重大な間違いを犯していたらしい。三釣城が誰かと付き合っている。それを無条件に男性の彼氏であると仮定していた。
Ah yes, Eurofication.
この過ちが我々の推理と調査を誤らせ、あらぬ問題に深入りさせていた原因だ。
I attempt to explain it myself, but it's frustrating. In other words, I compose my thoughts and continue speaking.
三釣綾子が惚れていたのは男性ではない。女性だということだ。
女性。
ってことは、ヒムロ、お前さんが言いたいのは、その、三釣が？
Forbidden love. You know, she reminds me of...
三釣はエミヤと付き合ってんだろ?
It reminds me of, I don't know, it's like some kind of like image, you know, it's like a meme image. Like Saiga's face kind of reminds me of like, there's like a caption that says like, that probably says like, if I remember correctly, like, you know, girls can't love girls, oh no, you know, or whatever.
だから牧野寺のそれは希望的観測に過ぎないと言っているではないか。
The reality of the situation is that everyone is gay.
確かに二人の仲は親密であったが、どうやらそれ以上の発展の可能性が薄いことは藤村先生の証言からも察せられる。
As I explained this much to Makidera, perhaps she's still too stunned to object. In that brief opportunity, I add on my addendum to the explanation and press on.
逆にエミヤと三釣城の友人関係があればこそ、セイバー城と三釣城の交際関係が成立しうる。ちょうどエミヤが橋渡しになっていた形だが、本人は至って無自覚だろうな。
Okay.
それに時期も符合する。セイバー城がこちらに来たのがおそらく2月前後。三釣の変化が4月。多少のズレはあるが、彼女が穂村原の生徒でないのだから、それも当然だ。
Well, knowing what we know, I mean, this is probably not true. You know, it's funny, I don't know, it's kind of like, I don't know. I guess it's supposed to be funny in the sense that these three are just misunderstanding everything, but like, I don't know. I feel like maybe these scenes would be more interesting if we actually did know like the characters or their established relationships already. Be more interesting. But otherwise, we know that they're not romantically involved. So, I guess, unless there's like an even different, like more alternate timeline where it is possible. I don't know. As I say this out loud, the thought of whether she's an exchange student crosses my mind.
ちょい待ち、ヒムロ。そりゃないって。三辻とセイバーさんは女の子同士だもん。
別に惚れた腫れたは異性の間に限った話ではあるまい。三辻城は美男美女は武芸達者であってしかるべきという信条の持ち主。そしてセイバー城はあれほどの美貌を誇り、冬木の虎をも驚嘆させる達人なのであれば、理念が死母に、そして連母に移り変わるのも難しい話ではない。
そういえば三辻さんもセイバーちゃんに手合わせを挑んでたわね。
Fujimura Sensei quietly divulges important testimony.
本当ですか、藤村先生。
何度か見たことある。もちろん三辻さんもボッコボコに負けてたけど、あれはあれで羨ましくなるほどに気持ちよさげだったね。
Ah, this is you, Fujimura Sensei says, moved by deep emotion.
そんなもんかな。私には合点がいかないのりっつうか。女同士なら普通に仲いいだけでいいじゃんか。
Yes, they hit each other with like wooden sticks and then they fall in love? I don't know.
だからそれが極まってしまったのだろう。それにだな、三辻城とエミヤの関係ゆえに遠坂城を絡めた三角関係の邪推に陥っていた。だが三辻城の相手がセーバー城であれば、エミヤを絡めた問題は何も生じ得ない。
生じ得ないような、生じ得ているような。いいのかなそれ。なんか不純、納得いかない。そういうの愛情じゃない気がする。
Makidera is troubled. It is either a matter that she cannot accept personally or she just cannot comprehend it.
牧野氏、君は三辻城とセーバー城が交際すると何か不利益を被るのかね。
は？いや、そんなことはないけど。でもそういうのよくわかんないっていうか。
I suppose she's fumbling for the right words. Certainly it would be difficult to say there would be no problems given the views of society on this type of couple, but
確かに行く先は茨の道であろうがな。
I guess. Well, yeah, probably, well, in Japan, especially when this game was released, I guess, gay couples were not all still, it was still, seen as negative, generally, maybe.
優しく応援してやっても決して罪にはなるまい。
Ironically, despite all the Yuri and Yaoi. Anyway.
いや、それ罪でしょ、普通に。
But anime, well, anime in itself, it's kind of like its own like underground thing, A lot of, I feel like anyway, maybe I'm wrong, but like, especially older, like, works derived from anime, we're kind of like, rebellious against society, That's why there's a lot of like a niche stuff that you don't really see in like mainstream Japanese media. If anything, like there was that stereotype that's like half true, where like there's a lot of like sex and violence and whatever, right? That you don't see like in mainstream media, because they wanted to make anime different from what we normally see in Japanese society or whatever. Maybe, I don't know, something like that.
三辻さんは面倒見が良くて、セーバーちゃんはちょっとズボラだからお似合いのカップルかな。
なんだよ、藤村先生まで OK かよ。
Fujimura Sensei laughs joyously. Far from fretting over the fact that students are engaged in impure same-sex relationships, this person was obstinately amused by it. Is it impure?
最後に非常に重要な要素がある。
それってもしかして。
あの二人は実に絵になる。
Curtly put, Macadera's eyes become little dots. Little dots. A gender-neutral type of beauty like Mitsuzuri Ayako with a beautiful and resolute young girl like Saber. There's no mistaking it. As long as it could be modeled on them, those who wield a paintbrush from all over the world will rise in excitement and make plenty of dojins, maybe. And though I have not wielded one myself for a long time, and though I've not wielded one myself for a long time, even my heart has been set aflutter. I write all the fanfiction. However, I suddenly said something out of place.
またそれかヒムロ、あんたから座布団全部没収。
没収でも何でもするがよい。だが私の絵心が座布団の一つや二つで動かされると思うのは大間違いだ。と。
Something is lacking. Rather, Macadera and I are going on like this, and yet the presence that is always with us is lacking. Although because Fujimoto-sensei was there in its place, I had not felt it until now.
牧野寺、一つ聞くが。
なんだい、根性の名残に聞いてやろう。
ユキカはどこだ？
She's dead. Looking around, I see no one else but Fujimoto-sensei's turned into a murder mystery, you see. That's the twist. Yukika, the one that was always with us and sharing her warm smile, is not here.
三枝さん、セイバーちゃんを追いかけていたみたいだけど。
ユキッチが
Yukika followed Miss Saber? Perhaps they should go to verify directly what I spoke of just now.
おい、ヒムロ、追うぞ。
わかった。しかし何故？
I wonder if Yukika wanted to help in her own way. She was the one most troubled when I suggested the love triangle involving Emiya. Therefore, perhaps she wanted to mediate between Miss Saber and her?
あ、交差点の方に降りてったから。
わかりました。ありがとうございます、藤村先生。
Macadera takes off running. I do not know how much of a head start she got, but with our leg strength, catching up would not be difficult. Macadera speaks as we run side by side.
ユキッチったら一体なんで？
私たちが勝手にやりすぎていたからだろうな。そろそろ踏ん切りをつけないと、ユキカにかかる迷惑が並大抵ではない。
The scenery passes by. We should be catching up to her soon. There, two people are walking side by side further down. However, I'm restrained by Macadera before I can rush over.
待った、ヒムロ。距離を置こう。
了解だ。
Okay, more eavesdropping. Miss Saber and Yukika are talking together. Even when viewed from behind, the profile of two gentle people peek through. Rather than intruding, it might be best for us to let Yukika carry on her conversation like this.
なるほど。ユキカはリンのクラスメートなのですか。思い出しました。昨日確かあなたの名前をリンの口から聞きました。
本当ですか？その、どんなお話を？
Yukika smiles happily. Miss Saber also has a faint smile, but it was pure and clear, like water trickling over stones. A smile coming from such a beautiful woman is simply out of this world. I wonder what they would think about Saber when, she's presented with food and she turns into...
美味しかったと言っていました。
She turns into a vacuum cleaner for food. She has a different personality when it comes to food.
そうですか。お口に合ってよかったです。
リンは見ての通りの美食家ですから、自信を持ってもよろしいものかと。
そうなのか、遠坂って。
彼女がグルメであっても罪にはならん気はするな。
We walk behind them, speaking in subdued voices. Miss Saber glanced our way only once, but then promptly resumed her chat with Yukika.
話を聞いて、シロウも感心していました。今度話を聞きたいとも。
エミオくん、お料理するんですね。お話は聞いたことあります。
ええ、最近はさくらやりんも厨房に立ちますが、もっぱら四郎が厨房の主です。
エミヤくんなら似合うかもしれません、お台所。
That Emiya Shirou in the kitchen with an apron. Well, it's a little strange that the apron suits him so well. Though both the image of working covered in oil and being in the kitchen fit him better than they would this self-proclaimed Black Panther here. I don't know why we're insulting.
なぜそんな目で
We're just randomly just insulting this person in our head.
君には台所は縁遠そうだと思っただけだ。安心しろ。私も腕が立つとは言わない。
お眼鏡違いだね、ヒムロ。私はこう見えても和食は得意だぞ。
Oh, that's unexpected. Perhaps Maki's lunchboxes are handmade. However, while we were distracted by our own small talk,
セーバーさん、今日三辻さんにお呼ばれなんですか？
ええ、どうもシントまで来てほしい用があるそうです。要件はよくわからないのですが、幸い私も余裕がありましたから。
こういうこと多いんですか
Yukika boldly follows up with another question for Miss Saber. Probably due to her amicable disposition, she meets no resistance to her questioning.
たびたびではありませんが、全くないわけでもありません。
じゃあ、セーバーさんは三辻さんをどう思いますか？
Suddenly, her question attacks a vital point and our breath stops. The conversation pauses for a moment as it appears that Miss Saber is searching for the right words.
そうですね。誠意のある方です。彼女はシロとリンの良き友人だ。
私も三辻さんは立派だなって思ってるんですよ。あんな風になれたらきっと素敵だろうなってずっと。
ええ、私も友人として綾子に接することができるのは得難いことだと思います。
Those words are simply too pure. It was like drinking distilled water, an answer that lacked of any flavor. Her smile is too bright, to the point of being dazzling. There is courtesy, but I feel nothing more than that.
なあ、
Makidera whispers while nudging me with her arm. I wonder if she's getting the same feeling that I am.
やっぱり違うんじゃないのか、三辻と彼女って。
やはり牧野氏もそう思うか。いや、まだ三辻が彼女に片思いである可能性も残っているのだが。
It was all, you know,
そうなかろうな。
the Yuri shipping is just wishful thinking.
どんどん氷室の仮説の寿命は短くなってくるな。今度は1時間持たなかったぞ。
Even if it is Makidera saying it, I have no words with which to retort. Now then, I am at a complete stalemate here. Frankly, there cannot possibly be anything between Miss Mizuri and Miss Tohsaka. Could a completely hidden dark horse exist? Or rather, she could be with nobody. I mean,
この後いかがされるのですか？
I mean that's the answer. She's just with nobody. As far as we know.
ご用事があるのに呼び止めちゃって。
Unless there's been some kind of like,
話させてもらって。
unless there's been some kind of like, you know, development.
いえ、私も楽しかったです。
That happened off screen or
そうです
something.
ね。ユキカのお料理をリンやシロウと共にご商売に預からせていただければありがたいです。
はい、私も頑張っちゃいます。お好みのものがあればぜひ教えてくださいね。
Yukika smile. How nice. Oh. What on earth just happened? By the time I realized what was going on, I had been thrown into the alleyway. Oh no, we've been kidnapped.
静かに。来た来た。
No, it's just Makidera. What in the world happened? Makidera throws me back to the wall and clings against the corner.
あら、セイバーじゃない。それに三枝さんも。
あ、どうも、遠坂さん、こんにちは。
おかえりなさい、リン。
Did Miss Tohsaka come over? I could tell because of the different tone of voice. Miss Saber is calm, but is Yukika surprised? And now even Macadera is in a state of panic, albeit a strange one.
珍しい組み合わせよね。あなたと三枝さんっていうのは友人だったの？
いえ、先ほど途上でお会いしたばかりですが、リンはお帰りですか？
そういうセイバーはこれから外出？
The way Miss Tohsaka speaks is quite a bit less formal. Is this how the perfect honor student at school speaks normally? She speaks very smugly.
マキ、遠坂城はいるのか？
No reply. Since it cannot be helped, I moved to her side and peeked beyond the corner. As I thought, I see the always elegant Miss Tohsaka with Yukika, who is in deep awe at the sight of her.
ええ、綾子とシントまで。こちらのユキカは同道させていただいていますが、特には。
私は三辻さんとは用事はないんです。ちょっとセイバーさんとお話しさせていただいてただけです。ねえセイバー、ちょっと付き合わない？
A smile spreads across Miss Tohsaka's face, as though she was plotting something mischievous. Then she seems to glance this way. Have we been noticed? Well, even so, that would not be strange.
いえ、これからシントに行くのですが。
いいじゃない。私だって用があるんだから。じゃあ私はこれで。セイバーさん、遠坂さん、さようなら。
Yukika bows her head and tries to leave. Perhaps she feels uncomfortable? If Miss Tohsaka and Miss Saber in such a friendly mood like that around me, I would find it difficult to stick around any longer as well. But suddenly, did Yukika see Tohsaka smiling?
ねえ、三枝さんもご一緒しません？にゃにー。
Nyani. The one who gasped was not Yukika, but Macadera. Did Miss Tohsaka casually invite Yukika as a friend, I wondered? I cannot read her intentions. The main characters inviting the background side characters who have barely any relevance to the plot? Gasp. Moreover, the manner in which she's overruling Miss Saber's attentions concerns me as well.
私がご一緒していいんですか？ええ、お弁当ごちそうになったし、ぜひお返しさせてください。容器を戻すついでに、今度は私のお弁当を食べていただこうかなって。本当ですか？
Truly a quite tactful invitation by Miss Tohsaka. Miss Saber is surprised, there's no mistaking she felt it as well. To be so overbearing in her invitation of Yukika and herself, Miss Tohsaka's behavior was somehow odd.
リン、よろしいのですか？ですが私には綾子との約束が。
セイバーも三枝さんとしたい話もあるでしょ？私も綾子やシロとはちょっとね。まあおごってあげるし、聞いてもらいたい話もあるから付き合いなさいって。そうね、サンブリューがいいわね。はい。でも私。
Her smile is somehow awkward. Miss Tohsaka, partly by force, drags Miss Saber away. Yukika followed them as well, as if being pulled by a magnetic force. They head towards the Shinto-bound bus.
おい、ユキカが持っていかれるぞ。
それは困った。だがどうする？奇妙だな、遠坂城のあれは。
However, I hesitate to just barge in from the side. Be that as it may, even if Yukika was reluctant, it seems she was also happy to be invited. It would be rude to interfere. Whether the situation is favorable or not, the bus...
なんだってのよ、あいつ。
Macadera starts running. She runs up to the bus as the door is closing and forcefully wedges herself inside.
無茶をするな、牧野氏は。
An act like that could disrupt traffic. Moreover, what must Miss Tohsaka and Yukika be thinking after seeing her board like some kind of bus jacker? While I watch on amazed, the bus rolls away. We're left behind. And only I was left behind. Yes. Should I have followed Macadera? although boarding in the same manner would have been very unsightly indeed. Macadera should be carefreely screaming, cushion confiscation, or some such by now.
やれやれ。
やれやれだぜ。Alright, part 2 completed. Now is the final act. Yes. The thrilling conclusion, I guess. The situation has become complicated once again. I need to sort things out. First is Macadera's attachment to Tohsaka. It does not merit much concern, my personal opinions aside. Macadera's behavior is easy to understand. Next is the matter of Miss Tohsaka and Emiya. Miss Tohsaka's aims may be ambiguous, but her propensity for chaos is clear, as she drags everyone from Miss Mizuzuri and Miss Saber into her messes. However, how far we have to go in solving this problem will depend on those two intentions. Though I am indeed only a curious spectator, it is interesting nevertheless.
それは副次的な問題だな。
At any rate, the question of Mizuzuri's Ayako's relationship, that is the real challenge. So far, our efforts have been fruitless. Given the situation, wouldn't it be more appropriate to think that Miss Mizuzuri does not have a partner? Let's assume that it is so. In that case, just what could her suspicious behavior in April mean? It can't be helped. I cannot divine every detail of mystery simply by kicking back and watching. In any case, as all of the relevant parties are in Shinto, there's no choice but to head there. For the final showdown. The boss battle, you see. Was it Saint Briok? The shop Miss Tohsaka went to was... Sensing someone next to me at the bus stop, I look up. It's a tall male student wearing the Homarahara uniform. Oh, was this Ayako's brother, I guess?
ごきげんよう。君は確か三釣城の弟みのりくんだね。
Our first meeting was at the archery club. I think I remember seeing him there. Still, this is the first time we have spoken. We're 2 years apart after all, in completely different clubs.
こんにちは。いい天気ですね。今日は。
We make idle small talk. Macadera said he was gruff, but on the contrary, he seems even easier to deal with than Emiya. Even have like the same hair, like orange-ish. Since Mizuzuri's brother is from a martial artist lineage, perhaps he tempers his personality in a similar way. A peculiar conversation partner to have right now. Though I guess, well, they don't have the same hairstyle, but it's both orange. If he cut his hair, it would look like Shirou. But should I try asking him? Assuming the brother is ignorant, I may have to rule out obtaining the subject's identity straight away. But if Miss Mizuzuri's partner happens to be someone outside of school, her brother might be the only one who knows anything.
みのりくん、一つ尋ねてもいいかね？
え？
私は3年の氷室かね。氷室と呼び捨てにしてもらって結構。
そうはいきません。いや、俺に答えられることならいいですけど。
He seems to be as polite as to his upperclassmen as I thought. Relieved that press on. Funnily enough, he was pretty rude to Shirou, though.
君の姉、三釣綾子嬢は誰かと付き合っているのかね？
姉ちゃんが？
異性同性司祭は構わない。とにかく君が知っている限りのことでいい。
異性同性構わないってどういう意味ですかそれ？
He is stunned into silence. Of course, anyone would react similarly if asking that out of the blue. Perhaps I had better say something to soften the blow.
君が知らなくても責めはしない。いや、知らなくて当然だな。
いや、それは。
He certainly looks terribly troubled. However, I have a feeling he isn't terribly sorry for not knowing.
そうか。初対面でこのようなことを聞くのはいささか無礼だな。申し訳ない。
はあ、姉ちゃんの彼氏っすか。あれは。
He mumbles, just what exactly does he know? As I fix him with a stare, he retreats back, quite suspicious.
何か知っているのかな？
そんなこと言えるわけないじゃないですか。
知らないのではなくて？
だって姉ちゃんのことでもう恥かきたくないですよ。俺だっていろいろ悩みはあるんですから。
Yeah, he apparently, you know, is in like a unrequited love situation with Sakura. He turns away quickly as if to indicate the conversation is over. Perhaps he thought acting angry would deter me, but nice people are not good at being mean. Kid, you might as well be confessing to be a material witness. No doubt about it, he knows something. Time to interrogate. Torture him. Break off his nails. He has his own problems. Is Mizuzuri's brother also having love troubles? Naturally, people like me that are always pursuing rumors of another love affair are wicked. However, there's a reason for the wicked to be wicked.
氷室先輩もこれから信徒ですか？
そうだな。友人連があちらにぞろっといる。何の因果か、東坂城とエミヤを追いかける羽目になった。
By some twist of fate? I don't know if it's twist of fate, more so that you're intentionally pursuing this.
あいつですか。
Oh, Mitsuzuri's brother is being uncharacteristically brusque towards an upperclassman. Might Emiya and this boy be in a quarrel? It's a one-sided quarrel. One will think their only interaction will be through the archery club. No, think there has to be something else. Mitsuzuri's brother holds an important clue, but I also cannot neglect the problem of Miss Tohsaka and Emiya. This could end up as he who runs after two hares will catch neither. Let's see, what now? You know, this, I don't know, I feel like this section would be more interesting, you know, because it says this, the whole, like, premise is like, Himuro, love detective, you know? I wish there was some actual investigation to do, you know? At least some choices, maybe, to, like, go to other places, you know, and actually investigate, just like, you know, a typical, like, visual novel-esque mystery game. That would be kind of cool, but I guess not. It's just like a straight scene. Tohsaka Makideo's group have already reached their destination, but this bus is sufficiently delayed. I'm quite uneasy about the state things will be when we arrive. But I cannot help but wonder about Mitsuzuri's brother. There's no telling what he might know.
さて来たか。彼らの方も手遅れでなければいいのだが。
なんか大変っすね。氷室先輩も。
Now to board the bus. I hear hurried footsteps closing in. I calmly turn around and...
まだ間に合います、さくら。
Hey, it's Sakura and Ryder. I guess they just... all the cameos.
ちょっと待ってもらって。
I mean, these three characters are really just... I mean, I feel like this entire thing, you know, it's just... You know, these three clueless characters just hovering around all the main characters, and we just, like, see them briefly in each scene or something.
また部長。
Mitsuzuri's brother's tone completely changes. A beautiful, wide-eyed, long-haired woman runs inside. She's on par with Miss Saber. No, as a woman, she's clearly more developed. Despite her glasses and somewhat unfashionable clothing. Really? Is unfashionable? I don't know. It's really, like, neat. Simple and neat, I guess. She's more than beautiful enough to compensate, almost frightening me, so... If anything, you know, Saber's, like, clothes is, like, too old-fashioned, you know, so... If anything, like, Ryder's clothes is, like, better. A brief glance from her sends chills running down my spine. What a mysterious sensation. Ryder? Could that be the name of the woman I've heard about from Ryudo and Fujimoto-sensei? Being pulled by the hand is Mato Sakura's second year. Miss Mato immediately recognizes me, or rather, Mitsuzuri's brother, and smiles broadly.
みのりくん。
大丈夫です。まだ間に合います、部長。
ありがとうございます、みのり。
Miss Ryder and Mitsuzuri's brother hold the door open while Miss Mato boards. And now, Mitsuzuri's brother is going out of his way to behave gallantly. I remember now, Mitsuzuri's brother was interested in Mato-san, wasn't he? That would explain his attitude towards Emiya. How very interesting. Omoshiroi. This too is juicy material indeed. Blackmail material. My lips unconsciously break into a smile. But if I keep grinning like an idiot, I will miss the bus. I'll follow Mitsuzuri's brother on board. Okay. Unintentionally, I let a stifled laugh slip out while right behind him.
なんですか、氷室先輩。
いや。
Evil laugh, okay.